Hello!
That was a great intro. So, what are we doing, Jake? Who just said hello?
Hey guys, this is Jake. I'm going to be getting a demo of Breachstorm, a tactical sci-fi miniatures game. And to sort of give us an overview on the game itself, I'm going to turn it over to Trevor, who is one of the developers of this game.
What's up, everybody? Today we're going to be running through a real quick game of Breachstorm. This is a bit of a pared down version of the full game. The full game's played on a 3x3 and has about 6 to 8 models per side, so this is just going to be quick and dirty to get a feel for the mechanics. But essentially, Breachstorm is a sci-fi game that focuses on sort of small teams of covert operatives. They're trying to complete specific objectives. All the missions are asymmetric, and you actually pick the objectives that your team's trying to complete when you build your list. And before a full game, the players will actually take turns placing the terrain pieces. So before you deploy any miniatures on the table, you're actually trying to get one up over your opponent, just based on the game state, essentially. But the way the round works is that it's essentially an alternating activation game, so we'll take turns activating field officer models. In the demo, we each have one field officer. These guys over here, the Strength of Our Prides, have a pack leader. This guy with his cool helmet and his big gun over there. And over here, I have my fire team leader. And the field officers, while they're activating, can command infantry around them to activate at the same time. So we'll end up taking sort of 2 to 3 mini turns each round, where we'll activate a field officer. He'll bring 2 or 3 infantry along with him. My opponent will do the same thing, and we'll go back and forth until all the models on the table have activated. In the demo, because we only have one field officer apiece, we're just basically going to be going I go, you go. But that's how the full game works. For this scenario, these guys have grabbed some vital intelligence that they're keeping in that handy beer cooler right there. What they're going to be trying to do is get it over to this clear area of the table right here, which is where their ship's going to come down and exfiltrate their team and get that intelligence out of there. My guys aren't super jazzed about that, so what we're going to be trying to do is get up to this console and call in some air support to fend off or shoot down their rescue ship before it's able to get their team out. How that works is that at the end of each round, as long as the dude carrying this intelligence, or just the intelligence box itself, is inside this circular zone, the Strength Thrower team will score 1 victory point. On my side, the first time I can get a dude up to this console and I can spend an action to do an interact, which I'll explain in a sec, then I'll score a victory point. And at the end of each round, if one player has more victory points than the other, then they'll win. So if we keep doing our thing and scoring 1 victory point, we'll tie at the end of each round. So the goal is to stop your opponent from scoring while being able to score yourself, so you can win at the during that victory phase. Alternatively, if you kill all of your opponent's models, then you win immediately anyway. So. I'm going to go ahead and activate first with my Homeworld Confederacy team. My guys are a little more technologically advanced. They have a lot of sort of powered exoskeletons and railguns, and their focus is on ranged attacks and sort of working together as a team to build synergies to create powerful attacks. So I pick a field officer to activate. I have my fire team leader right here. He's my field officer, and he's going to get a number of action tokens equal to his action value right there. That's ACT. So he has 4 action tokens, and these are what he spends to do things like move, make attacks, and use special abilities. He'll also generate 3 order tokens. That's his order value right there, and that's what he needs to spend to command infantry models and use some special order abilities that he has. So he's going to go ahead and start by performing a move action. So there's no order in which you have to perform any of your actions. You can, move and then shoot and then melee and then move again. You can do all sorts of stuff. Your guys really feel like action heroes in this game, making really dynamic activations. And he can interrupt that by commanding his infantry. So he's going to go ahead and do that. We'll spend an order token to pick a rifleman within 8 inches of him. We're going to pause the fire team leader's activation, and we're going to move over to the infantry's. Infantry have a little bit of a weird action value. They have this 2 and then +1. What that means is that when an officer orders them, they're going to get 3 tokens. If they activate by themselves, they'll only get this 2. So they're going to be less effective if they don't have an officer guiding them and telling them what to do. So I'll get my 3 tokens. He's going to complete all of his actions before we go back to the field officer. So he'll do a move himself. He can hop over this wall without penalty as long as he doesn't land on it. And we'll take a shot at one of these, this pack warrior over here.
I have cats.
But he can interrupt his activation.
That you do. I brought cats to space. And then I put them in power armor and gave them knives.
Knives and...
the fact that you gave cats knives kind of scares the shit out of me.
Knives and plasma guns.
It's 3 actions.
9s are still scarier.
I'm pretty sure Arcade already has the plus one.
Oh no. So he's going to spend an action to make a ranged attack. Now, when I make a ranged attack, my weapon has an accuracy value, which is the number of dice I get to roll for the attack. So for an example, if I was shooting an accuracy 4 weapon at one of these guys, I'd roll 4 dice. And from those, I get to pick 3 to use as my result. So I could have a high accuracy weapon. I could have a bunch of buffs that change the number of dice I get to roll. I could roll 10,000 dice. I'd only get to pick 3. So I get here and I get a 12. What I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract my target's evade value. That's his EV right there. That'll give me a 5. And if I'm shooting with my gun here, I look at my chart, and a 5 would deal 4 damage to my target.
Oh no.
Let me show on this one because the glare. So like here, your weapon is 0 plus, you do 2 damage. 5 plus, you do 4. And if you get an 8 plus, you do 7.
Yep.
It goes back to my
Now, the way cover works is that if one of his models is base to base with one of these pieces of terrain and it's obstructing my shot, before I pick my 3 dice, I'm actually going to get rid of the highest die.
It's okay, you're still fine.
Yeah, that roll was really good, so I don't feel super bad about that. Now, these guys' weapons start at an accuracy of 3, so I'm going to roll my attack against this guy with 3 dice. I'm going to get rid of the highest for cover, which leaves me with a 7. Unfortunately, subtracting his evade of 7 means I miss, so that attack's not going to do anything.
Now, I notice over here that the Pack Warrior's gun has a 0 plus damage category.
Indeed, yeah. So the Pack Warriors there are firing plasma carbines. They're sort of indiscriminate weapons. You don't actually have to hit the target to bombard them with radiation and superheated gas. So even if they're shooting at my guys who have an evade of 6, and their result is a 6, they subtract my evade, they get a 0, they're still going to deal damage. So they have to hit anywhere around me, basically, to get their minimum damage value. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take another ranged attack. I can take as many of the same action as I want for most of my common actions. There are a couple actions you can only do 1 per activation, but there's no sort of sprinting or aiming mechanic. I can just spend more actions doing the same thing to represent trying to move faster. So I'm going to take a shot at the pack leader there. I'm going to subtract the highest die for cover. Unfortunately, be left with a 0 again. And my model needs a 2 to hit on his assault rifle, so he's going to miss that shot as well. Damn. So, on my side, my guys have a special rule called Concentrate Fire, which gives one of these sweet tokens to everyone they shoot during their activation at the end of their activation. And these tokens will give his buddies +1 accuracy. It's a whole extra die for each of those tokens that you have when I'm shooting at them. So they're going to cascade and get more and more effective the more I target single enemies. We bounce back to the fire team leader. He can spend another action or another order to activate one of his other infantry. So we'll pick this other rifleman here.
Could you activate the same rifleman?
No, each model can only activate once per round.
Okay.
So we'll activate a new guy. He'll spend an action to move, to get up in there as well, and we'll start taking some shots. So we'll take a shot at this Pack Warrior here. I'm 3 accuracy for my gun, +1 for my Concentrate Fire. I'm going to get rid of the highest die. Unfortunately, that wasn't a great roll, so I'm going to still miss that shot. I'll try it one more time. And we'll roll only a little bit better, so we'll miss that one too. But he is going to give another Concentrate Fire token to the target he shot, and we'll go back to the fire team leader. So the fire team leader is going to spend an action to perform an interact, so that will score me my victory point for this round. He'll then take a shot at the Pack Warrior as well. So now he's 3 accuracy +2 for the 2 tokens he has on him, so he's going to be a very accurate, and we're going to roll a bunch of 60s, so that's awesome. So we'll get rid of one of these for cover. We'll pick my 3 highest. That will give me a 15. Minus your evade of 7 gives you an 8. If I look on my chart here, I didn't quite get to my 9+ critical hit category, so I'm only going to deal 4 damage with that attack.
Okay.
So if you can pick one of these bars up at the top here, it's just like War Machine. There's some boxes in there, and each box is 1 hit point, so you can just mark those off. Now in response, you have a defense you can use.
Okay.
Pack Warriors are pretty lightly armored. They can't reduce the amount of damage they take, but they have this dodge defense. What that'll do is, after the attack's resolved, they can essentially push 2 inches in any direction. So they can move 2 inches in a straight line, but they can't go over anything.
Now, this is attack after they've been damaged?
Yeah. Yeah, so you trigger the defense after an attack hits you. Your pack leader has 2 defenses he can choose from. You only get to apply 1. So he could either dodge to push himself 2 inches, or he could use his resist, which cuts the amount of damage he takes in half. So he's significantly harder to kill if he just stands there and takes the hits, essentially.
Okay, so you said I cannot move over the wall with my 2?
Yeah.
And then I have cover, so you drop the dice. So you got 7. I'm evasion 6.
Sweet. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use my last order here to use my tactical reposition ability. So that's an ability he can spend an order on that will move all of my Marines that are within 8 inches of him 2 inches. So he can use that to reposition his team. He can jump this guy behind the wall. This guy can jump back a little bit, and I can move himself. It costs me my order, and then he'll spend his last action to do a move, and we'll pop back behind the cover here to get some defense. So that's the end of his activation. These tokens stick around until the end of the round. In the demo game, they don't really matter because I'm out of bottles to activate. So if I had another field officer to go, these would still apply, and he'd have to worry about where these guys moved because I could shoot them with a bunch of extra accuracy. In this case, I'm going to clean up the table and I'm going to take them out though because I don't have any more models. And it's over to you to activate a model.
So I'll go ahead and activate my pack leader, who gets 3 actions.
These guys like actually have like
and 3 orders.
Like 50 pounds, just an exoskeleton bomb.
Okay, so his shenanigans.
So he has some cool actions. He has Assault and Storm, which are a combination of a move and an attack. So Storm, for the cost of 1 action, you get to move 3 inches and then make a ranged attack. Assault is the same thing, cost 1, move 3 inches, but you make a melee attack at the end.
Okay.
You can do each of those once per activation, but you can do both of them. So potentially, you can have a guy move, storm up and shoot me, and then assault me to get into melee and knife me.
And I assume radius is how far away I can be in order to give an order.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
I told you outright. That guy has to be there at the end of the round.
So I could probably. I'll go ahead and take his. Is it assault or storm? That's great.
Storm lets you take the shot.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and storm. So I'll move 3.
In the demo, if you have 1 more opponent point, then you win. And he would have scored nothing that round if he didn't.
And I'll take a shot at the guy who's exposed.
Yep.
I'm range 10, accuracy 4.
Hold strong, little rifleman. You'll be fine.
Both opponents are
He'll totally miss.
I'll be dead.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no. So what is his evasion?
He is evade 6.
So that's 10 for my red, which is 7 damage.
Ouch! So my guys have this heavy armor on them. They can't dodge like the pack warriors can, but they can reduce damage they take by 1. So he's going to take 6 from that. So that stings a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Keep them in the circle and move your other 2 troops out. They keep them within 6 inches.
Right, no pressure, Jake. Do it again.
I cannot do it again. Like I can't go storm once per activation.
Yeah.
Shoot him again.
Yeah, he can just hold down that trigger and keep zapping me though.
Am I within 6 of you yet?
You are.
Neat.
You are within 6, so you can use your pack tactics to make your other guys more effective.
I'll go ahead and spend an order to use his pack tactics ability to give +1 accuracy to enemies within 6 of my pack leader. And then I'll give an order to the other guy. So he'll have 3 actions. Okay. So their normal movement's only 5, so I can't quite get there. 6 inches still won't get me there. I have 7 of you. I am not. So I'll have to move at least once to get both a ranged and a melee attack.
Could he not storm also?
He can, but so I'll do that at least once. But if I want to get into melee and stab,
Oh, you're in melee. Okay, got it.
then I have to use at least one of my actions to move. So we'll go ahead, use an action to move his 5.
Yeah, the cats are a little speedier than humans. They have all those cool actions to do move and attacks. They also have the dodge and their higher speed and evade, but they tend to take a little more damage. So.
And I'll go at this point. I'll go ahead and assault to move it into 3, and do a melee. So it'll give me normally accuracy 4, up to accuracy 5 because of pack tactics.
It shows both players how it's happening.
Okay, and I'll take those 3.
Perfect.
Which gives me 7.
Yep.
Which is the red. Nope, 7 is 5 damage off the melee.
So I'll take 4 from that using my armor. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And I'll use his last action to take another melee.
You have to be able to pay attention so you can like apply cover for
Take these 3.
activations means you're not really up
So that's 8 total, which is 7 damage.
Boom. So yep, I can reduce that to 6, but I only have 3 hit points left, so I'm gonna get knifed, and that'll take me out.
All right.
So pretty clean.
Yep.
I'm down 1 infantry. Not great.
So back over to my pack leader. I do want to give some orders because my payload is here. So I will give him an order that the pack leader's out of the way.
So basically anything within that
I should note as well that your models can move and draw line of sight through each other.
Okay.
So you're a sort of crack team of specialists, so you've done this a couple times before. You don't get in each other's way. But enemy models you will have to move around.
All right. So can I move through? Is this just a token on me?
Yeah, so that'll just follow him around, and if he gets taken out, then he'll drop it where he stands, basically.
Okay. So I'm already down a point, so we're just gonna try to move him as far as we can to get to the objective.
But we can just do that when we move back out.
We'll move again.
Before you use your action, you use your order to command. That's where
And he does have storm, so I'll move
if there's a guy like way over here, your
3 inches to get into the zone
command him
with the objective.
and the guy over there, like,
And then we'll go ahead and take
so that it makes it more
a
fluid.
range 8. I should be within range. Yep.
Got him. But he will have cover from the wall.
Yep. So normally they are accuracy 3 with their scatter shotguns, +1 for pack.
So watch out,
actually,
because this
not
guy
pack
might not be
tactics.
within 6 inches of you.
He's not, because that's barely on the other one.
Yeah.
So just 3. Lose the highest, and that's 1.
Right.
So 2 damage.
Exactly.
Which is down to 1 for you.
Your guns are pretty indiscriminate, so they can still plink me for a couple damage, even if they're just hitting the wall.
Yep. So I blink. But that
Gun got plinked.
will only score a point this round.
Indeed.
Never the
Okay.
but I love
Back to him.
I played Tau.
I love the original process.
I used to, the Donna one too, I used to just, they just built the guy that built little robots. So, little guys.
Okay.
I like the Necrons.
Probably could have moved him up a little bit, but
Tau and
whatever.
Tyranids are my favorite. I also, Tau, Tyranids, and Orcs. I like to play those. I didn't like to play any of the other factions. Necrons are really cool aesthetically.
So I assume your leader has cover against me as well?
Yeah. As long as any line between our bases is obstructed by the train he's behind, then he'll get covered.
Okay.
It's very binary.
Neat. So I'll go ahead and I'll just take a regular range shot against the infantry.
Uh-oh.
So I am accuracy 4 base.
Yeah, it's okay, you're gonna miss.
Probably.
I'm feeling good. Uh-oh.
It's
way too soon.
Do this during competition.
7 plus, 5 plus is 5 damage.
Yep, so I'll take 4 with that, with my armor. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Precise means I get to name one of your defenses and you can't
Yep.
use that.
And I'll go ahead and move my pack leader.
Like redundancies.
We'll move him.
Oh, man.
Up 5.
I can still use my armor 1, so I don't take full damage.
He ain't afeared.
I still take a lot more damage. I don't mind.
I'll just incentivize them to come get points.
Fair enough. Alrighty. So it's the end of the round. We've activated all the models. We've both done our thing. The objective is in the zone. I've interacted with the console. We're 1-1, so nobody wins and the game keeps going. Back over to my turn to activate a model. Activate my field officer. Now, unfortunately, in this situation, because he's down an infantry model, he actually has more orders than he can spend. In a full game, obviously, if I had more infantry around me, I could activate additional infantry models with my extra orders. I can also purchase what are called tactical assets with excess orders that I have, which are bonuses like rerolls and moving models short distances during their activation, just to sort of try to get me back in the game if I'm if I'm missing some infantry. He's basically calling into headquarters like, boys, we're down a couple guys. The cats are clawing our eyes out. So in this situation, this extra order is not going to do anything. However, we're going to go ahead and start by commanding my infantry over here. So he's going to get his 3 actions. Grab one of these. Oh, and he's going to move the train around. So What is he gonna do? I think he's gonna go ahead and take a shot at this pack warrior here that we've softened up.
Yep.
I started accuracy 3, and I can ignore terrain that I am base to base with, because obviously I can shoot around it. If my target is base to base with the same piece of terrain, though, it will count as cover because we're both hiding behind it. So I'm gonna subtract 7 from my target's evade. That gives me a 5, which on my chart deals 4 damage.
Okay.
And then in response to that, the pack warrior can dodge again.
Which he will. Blink.
Cool. So all the models on the table right now have a melee range of 1 inch. So I can perform melee attacks targeting enemies within an inch of me. So I'm going to go ahead and do a move. I'm going to try to swing over this wall. Now melee attacks ignore cover, so the wall is not going to obstruct my attack in any way. And let's see if I can finish this guy off. That wasn't a great roll. That's going to get me a 2, which is only going to deal 3 damage to him.
Okay.
Curses!
I could try to dodge at this point, I assume, but I'm actually okay with my current position, so I'll stay there.
Yep. So you're behind the wall. Because you're in melee, if anybody takes a shot at you, they're going to be -1 accuracy as well.
Okay.
So this guy trying to shoot over here would be an extremely hard shot. I do give you a concentrate fire token since I shot you.
Yep.
Then we go back to the fire team leader. He is going to go ahead and perform his tactical reposition. And he's going to pull his buddy out of melee with you.
Now, is there a mechanic like free strikes?
No, so you can actually move out of any model's melee range without penalty. It does, it requires resources for me to get out of there. And if I shoot you again, you can potentially dodge back in. So he's going to move himself 2 inches with that. He's going to go ahead and do a move. So we're going to move over here, base to base with the console. Now we're going to take a shot at the pack warrior. Because I can ignore the console here, there's no intervening terrain, so there's going to be no cover. I'm going to get to roll 4 dice because of my concentrate fire token.
Well, that doesn't really make
Let's do it, little guy! Oh yeah, that was really good. So we got a big old 16.
Should be a 9 up.
Yep, so that's a 9. That gets me to my critical level, my highest damage number. So that actually still does 4 damage on these guys' melee or range attacks. But I have a cool modifier called Precise. That lets me pick one of my target's defenses that they can't apply for that attack. So I'm going to lock this guy down. I'm going to say, you can't dodge. You have to stay there, and you're going to have to take 4 damage.
He explodes.
Boom! We got one. Now, the cool part about these guys is that when they see their buddies killed in glorious battle, they'll actually be filled with righteous fury. So all friendly models within 6 inches of him will get one of those awesome fury tokens. Yeah, exactly.
I planned this.
But all is going according to design. These Fury tokens are essentially additional action tokens that they can spend, but they can only spend them on melee attacks or assault actions. The upside is that they persist until they're spent, so you can save them if you don't want to spend them. And this faction actually has a lot of models that can interact with Fury tokens to generate them or to move them around. You can have some very powerful melee characters you can siphon tokens into, so late game they can come in with a whole bunch of attacks and take out a whole bunch of enemies in one move. I'm going to have to spend another action to interact with the console in order to not lose at the end of the round. And then we're going to take a shot at this guy way out in the open right here, assuming I'm within 10 inches.
Okie dokie.
Seems like I'm good. I'll roll my 3 dice. We'll roll pretty well as well. We'll get a 5, which will deal him 4 damage.
So because you moved your other guy.
That's the end of my activation.
Great.
So
I will take a dodge on
I
that.
used my tactical reposition, so I'll just like move 2 inches a little bit. It's kind of one of their like cool synergy abilities. There's a few of those in the faction, which like make everybody kind of do something. They're really good at working together.
Neat.
So it's like everybody quick, spread out.
Cool. Good. Do it to it.
All
I
right.
activated him, so he gets the action. So his first action
So-
is straight up to do scoring a point. I want to not lose it. So,
3 for the big guy.
action is I'm shooting this guy.
3 orders. Okay. So I think first thing we'll do, we'll use an order to get pack tactics going again.
Perfect.
They're both within 6 of me. So we'll go ahead and use another order to get him moving right away.
Yep, 2 inch move.
Because I would like to move my pack leader in a bit, and I do not want to move him out of range of pack tactics accidentally.
Well, I never really know where to go,
So, I assume I can't just drop the package here.
Right. It's essentially handcuffed to your wrist, so it's going to follow you around.
So as much as I like to use the melee, I'm probably just going to take pot shots.
Now he could potentially do something like storm and assault me forward, get a couple attacks, and then move back into the zone at the end of his activation.
Does he need to be completely within the zone?
No, any part of his base needs to be inside. Yeah.
I could probably pull that off. 5-inch move, yeah. Right. So we'll go ahead.
Instead, I'm actually going to attack this guy.
We'll use one of these orders to do the assault.
The concentrated fire token on both of them.
The storm.
And if I
take a
shot,
shot.
Take a shot.
Concentrated fire token, then my other guys will do less that. That's good.
We'll take a shot on
10.
8-inch range. We'll probably put it onto the. Can I assume I can't see through that?
You can see through these. Yeah,
Okay.
they will give me cover. All this terrain doesn't block line of sight. Big stuff like the big building over there will, but.
Okay. So we'll put a shot into the commander. So I am accuracy 3 normally, +1 for pack tactics.
So the cool thing about dodge is it activates before you take damage.
Okay, so I drop the highest due to cover, and you're 6.
Yep.
But in the,
so that is.
going to replace you, so you can dodge within 2 inches of
So you take the highest die out before you choose it.
Yeah, okay.
8 inches away, so if you were
So minus the 6, that's 9, so 3 up. On melee is on range, 2 damage.
2 damage, so I'm going to use my armor and I'll take 1 from it.
Yep. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and assault your position.
Do it on my rifle, man.
No, 2 over. Because this could go to him, correct?
Yeah.
We want up to 2.
Okay, so I am 4 dice normally, +1.
You don't have to have a first position.
Oh, so
Oh my god.
And there it is.
That looks familiar.
Test each other.
That is slightly more familiar.
Yeah, for all the viewers out there, the secret to winning is not that.
I don't even hit you.
Yep, you missed me entirely. I'm so dodgy.
I'll spend that fury token though to try again.
Yeah, buddy.
You could base the base.
I hope you roll like that again, please. Uh-oh.
Or not.
That's the reason we don't play.
All right, your evasion is 6, so my total 10 result is 7 damage.
7 damage. I'll reduce that to 6 with my armor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 2 left.
Okay. And then I'll use his last action to move 5 back into scoring.
Yeah, get out of here, kitty. Yeah.
So both of you guys get free tokens.
Yep.
All right. Well, so back to my commander, I was sorely tempted to just go ahead and maul in on your pack leader, but that guy is looking low.
He's a juicy target.
You said I can use this to assault?
Yep.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and do that.
Sounds good.
They have an ability called set firing mode. They can change the
Oh man.
air burst, which
Okay.
It's okay, I'll just roll 1s again.
It's possible. Now, he does not benefit from his own pack tactics,
That only affects his infantry.
so I'll just roll my normal 4.
Storm, so move 3 inches,
All right.
and I'm going to.
Yep, so you subtract my evade of 6.
So that is 6 total, which is 5 more damage.
5 damage, I can reduce that to 4, but I only have 2. All my riflemen are dead.
It's terrible for everyone.
I agree.
Killing innocent humans.
Okay. All right, finishing on the rest of his stuff. I've got my 3 normal attacks. I can't assault twice in a row, so I'll have to move like a peon. Or I will just do a 3-inch. Now, can I shoot you while in melee?
No, so while you're in an inch of enemy, yeah, you can't shoot, unfortunately.
In that case, we will probably just...
16, so I got a 9 plus.
If anything, I'm actually slightly better at range.
Yeah. The upside of your melee attack is that it ignores cover, and you have an easier time getting to your higher damage values.
To this guy.
So I'll go there, which I think gives me unrestricted sight to him.
Sure.
Okay, and I'll make a accuracy 4 shot. Pew pew. Thank you.
And he goes back to my officer. My officer
So
is,
lose the 6. 8 gives me 5 damage.
5 damage. So my fire team leader has resist as well, just like the pack leader. So he can cut that in half, and it rounds up, so he'll take 3.
Okay. I'll make another shot. So that is 5 again. So same result, 5 damage.
So I'll take
down to 3. And my last shot.
Oh dear.
All right. So that's an 8 result, which is still not enough to get my critical effect. So 3 more.
3 left.
All right.
Just holding on.
And I'm done. And we've
Alrighty.
both scored a point this round.
Yep. So we've done our things. We're 2-2 now. Nobody's won. It's back to my turn to activate a field officer. I only have my fire team leader left, so things aren't looking great for our intrepid heroes here. Let's see if we can pull it out.
I mean, Intrepid Heroes is not the BeerThralls? That seems weird.
We'll spend an action to interact so I can score my point. I'm going to spend an action to use his special action, set firing mode. So one thing these guys can do is they can basically change the payload on their ammunition. They can either pick airburst, which ignores cover, or rapid fire, which will give me a free shot after every time I make a ranged attack. So we'll pick rapid fire, just go full auto on these guys.
This is bad.
Hey, Jake, I think you made a mistake.
The BeerThrall made a mistake. News at 11.
We'll spend a token to make a ranged attack targeting this guy. See if I can finish him off too. Not with dice like that, unfortunately.
Maybe not, no.
So that'll give me a whole big old 0. I get a free shot from rapid fire. Oh man. Well, we have a 2, which will do 2 damage to him.
Okay. I would dodge, but I don't know where to go, so I'll just stay there.
Fair enough. All right, let's try it again. 2 more shots. Can we get him?
No cover.
Oh, that's a good start.
That'll be a good start.
So that'll give me an 8, which will be 4 damage for you.
Okay.
Because Fury, you can only attack.
2 health left.
2 left. I got 1 more.
So if you
Oh no!
Oh, that's not it. That is not it.
Oh no! So we're gonna miss that one. He's alive, just barely. I'll use my tactical reposition to jump to this side of the cover, so I get some cover from that pack leader there. But unfortunately, that's all I got going for me.
Okay. So
6, 10, 15.
So my trooper is in fact too far away for me to command, so I have to get back into cohesion.
Yeah, so you can command him basically any time during your activation, so he can move back in and tell him to go, and then move back out.
Puts me basically.
Okay.
Screw it. He's got no other activations. Just have the commander kill him.
Just stab me.
A lot.
Put me out of my misery.
just outside, but that was a movement. You haven't assaulted yet.
So we'll go ahead and assault to get that range shot.
Yeah, do a storm.
Storm, yeah. I'll get those right eventually someday.
Proxy base.
Okay, accuracy 4 with cover. So I drop the 6.
You can get, if you go exactly
And
there,
minus your 6.
you can attack both.
That's 3, which is enough to do 3 damage, which you'll have.
Yep, so I'll take 2 from that. That'll leave me on a 1.
Place perfectly.
We'll go ahead and storm.
Assault.
You're right.
Oh, I think that'll do
I
it.
think that's it.
I think that'll
Yep,
do.
that puts another 7 damage through on me.
Yep, it
And I
does.
only have 1 left. Good game, sir.
All right.
So,
Thanks, guys.
yep.